Well, everyone, it's time to talk about the Nintendo Switch and see how it holds up in the middle of 2021. Now, I will tell you, this is the one console that just keeps on getting better and better as time progresses. And it seems like the successor of this device, if there ever is one, which there probably will be at some point, it seems like there's not going to be that crazy of a difference. It seems like this Nintendo Switch is still going to be relevant for so many years. So I just want to say this, Switch is still completely worth it. It's still perfectly fine. But there have been a lot of changes recently, so should you wait for the next Switch? Should you keep this one? Should you go to a Switch Lite? I don't know why you'd want to do that. Let's go ahead and discuss. Now, if you want to pick one of these things up, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, help support the channel at the same time. Now, outside, the Switch has stayed pretty much the same as you guys may have seen. You still have that 6.2-inch panel on the front. Nothing has changed there. You still have those Joy-Cons. But do keep in mind these Joy-Cons still experience a lot of issues, and this is without a doubt one of the biggest problems I've had with my Nintendo Switch. I've had to replace my Joy-Cons already, and I just hate doing that. And it's just weird because in the back of your head it may happen again, and that's just something I hate doing, but it is something I have to say. They still click in. I mean, this Switch is pretty old, I've had it for a couple of years already, and it's been perfectly fine. It still clicks in place, which is really good. Just the Joy-Cons are a little annoying. Physically, it still feels fine. Nothing has broken off, and overall, this Switch has only gotten better since the first day I bought it. A good thing though too for a lot of people who currently own the Switch, the resale value of these things are still fairly high. So if you wanted to, if you resold your Switch, you could probably get the same if not more money by reselling it than when you originally bought it. So that's a pretty crazy thing. Usually it's the opposite. If you look at like PlayStation 4s, if you look at Xbox Ones, a lot of those consoles are already going down in value. And this console has stayed the same. So that's a really, really good thing without a doubt. Once the successor comes out, that's going to be a little bit different. But the biggest thing that happened recently is E3, and it's still going on as far as I know right now, or maybe not by the time I'm making this video or releasing it to the public. But there have been so many announcements within E3. There's so many more games coming out. The successors of all the other games, the Zeldas and all those games that have been coming out, all these Mario games coming out, new Smash characters. I mean, the whole 9 yards. This is a console that just keeps on getting better and better over time. And it's not like this thing was announced today. This thing was released like years and years ago. So the fact that there's a bigger community year after year, the fact that these games are still being announced, being released, I mean, it's crazy to me because we haven't even seen a successor to this console yet. That's what's crazy. Typically in this time frame, we do have another console, things like, a PlayStation 4 Slim, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, PS4 Pro. We haven't gotten the Pro console yet. So that makes me really excited for one, because this console is still the main console people are making games for, but also these game developers are keeping this console in mind. They're not trying to overload this console or make the game super heavy that, the Nintendo Switch can't run it, because there's only one Nintendo Switch. So all these new games that were announced in this year, for the middle of 2021 going forward, they're going to be tailored for these devices. Unlike we've seen for other consoles, if you look at last gen, things like the One S, the One X, and PS4 Slim and Pro, the same game that you're going to play for the PS4 Pro may not, run as fast and may overload the system on a PlayStation 4, the standard one, or the Xbox One original one. So that's something you have to keep in mind. I mean, it's not a secret. It happens all the time. It's okay. But I really do appreciate how these game developers are going to have to make these games run perfectly fine on pretty much all the Nintendo Switches. So that's the main thing. We've gotten a couple of software updates here and there that have been pretty big updates for the Nintendo Switch. So that's another pretty big thing that we saw as well. But I think those are pretty much the main updates for the most part. I'm super happy about my Nintendo Switch. I love it. I play with it almost every single day, and I haven't really experienced too many issues outside of the joysticks and the Joy-Con issue. That is a major issue that Nintendo needs to address and they just need to fix. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing that it's still the case, but I think as a whole, thumbs up for me. I would still recommend buying it. And I do think, again, this is one of those consoles and one of those devices that ages so well throughout time. When you get a device, it's very rare that it gets better, 5 years later or like 4 years later, and you can still sell it for the same price. That in and of itself is a really crazy thing. So I love the Nintendo Switch. I'm probably going to buy another one. I'm going to buy the successor whenever that comes out, and I would highly recommend you guys to do it as well. So that's essentially it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.